Story. The reflection. Mia had always felt uneasy around mirrors at night. It wasn't an irrational phobia, just a deep-seated discomfort she couldn't explain. As a child, she would cover the mirrors in her bedroom before going to sleep. As an adult, she avoided looking into them after dark. It started with small things, catching movement in her peripheral vision when she knew she hadn't moved, a slight distortion in her reflection when she lingered too long. She brushed it off as exhaustion or imagination, until the night she saw it. The first glimpse. It was late, well past midnight. Mia had stayed up working on her laptop, sipping cold coffee that had long lost its appeal. Her apartment was silent, except for the occasional creak of the old wooden floor. As she entered the bathroom to wash up, she flicked on the dim overhead light. The mirror above the sink was speckled with condensation from an earlier shower. As she ran the water, she caught her reflection in the foggy glass. Something felt off. She leaned closer, wiping the condensation away with the sleeve of her sweater. Her reflection was there, as expected. Same tired eyes, same loose ponytail. But then she frowned. She wasn't frowning. The realization was slow, creeping into her mind like cold fingers wrapping around her thoughts. She tested it, tilted her head, blinked. Her reflection followed as it should. But something about it felt delayed, as if it were watching her more than mimicking her. Then, in an instant, it moved before she did. Mia stumbled back, knocking over a bottle of soap. Her heart pounded so hard she could feel it in her throat. She forced a nervous laugh. Jesus, I need sleep. But as she turned to leave, her reflection lingered just a second too long before following. A growing terror. For the next few days, Mia avoided mirrors as much as possible. She covered the bathroom mirror with a towel. She turned her bedroom mirror to face the wall. But reflections were everywhere. Windows, the black screen of her TV, the surface of a spoon. She began to notice small things. Her reflection's head tilting at the wrong angle. A blink that didn't match hers. A shadow moving behind her when she was alone. One evening, she was brushing her hair in the living room when she made the mistake of glancing at the glass window. Outside, the city glowed with lights, but what caught her breath was her reflection in the glass. It was staring directly at her. Not at her reflection. At her. And then, it smiled. Not a normal human smile. It stretched too wide, revealing teeth that were just a little too sharp. Mia threw the brush, shattering the glass. The reflection didn't shatter with it. It lingered for a moment longer, grinning, before fading into darkness. The switch Mia didn't sleep that night. Every mirror, every reflective surface in her apartment was covered, but she could feel it, watching, waiting. At 3:12 a.m., her phone screen lit up, a notification. She hesitated before picking it up. It was a photo of her, standing in the bathroom. But she was in bed. A cold dread crept up her spine. With shaking hands, she turned her head toward the bathroom door. The towel she had placed over the mirror earlier was on the floor, and the door was open. A soft, wet whisper slithered through the dark. "Let me out." Mia bolted out of bed, running for the front door, but the floor felt strange, too smooth, too cold. She stopped. Her apartment looked different. The walls seemed stretched, the angles wrong. The light was dimmer, like it was filtering through something thick. Then she noticed her reflection in the hallway mirror. It wasn't mimicking her anymore. It was standing still, smiling, watching. Mia raised a shaking hand. The reflection did not. And then, with slow, deliberate movements, it stepped out of the mirror. Mia screamed, but no sound came out. The thing, her reflection, reached out, touching her arm with fingers that felt too real. The world shifted. And suddenly, she wasn't in her apartment anymore. She was inside the mirror. Trapped, Mia pounded on the glass, screaming. On the other side, her reflection, no, the thing, smiled at her. It turned, stretching its new limbs, adjusting its stolen skin. Then, with one last glance at Mia's terrified face, it walked away, disappearing into her life. Mia's breath came in short gasps as she banged against the smooth surface, but it was useless. The glass didn't budge. And then, from the dark void behind her, something moved. She wasn't alone. A dozen pairs of hollow eyes stared from the abyss. Other reflections. Other people. Trapped. Waiting. And as she felt a cold hand rest on her shoulder, she realized the awful truth. She would wait, too, until it was